So we clear everything from the factory with this current configuration. The turbo is exactly where I'd like it to be. You're going to be limited as to what you can do for intakes, guys. So that's kind of the nature of the beast here on this one. I think there's not a whole lot of room up here, as you can kind of see in the video. You're probably going to have to run maybe a turbo guard or something like that. But for most of you guys at this power level, I don't suspect that being a big problem. But as you can see in those little video clips before that, we fit in the frame rail, which I was excited about. That was my main concern, guys, this fitment right here. We have lots of room for clearance there, so no modification is required there. One thing that you may have to modify, which is in my opinion a non-issue, the actual mount, the other end of this mount right here, it's a piece of cast aluminum. You may have to clearance that with a flap disc a little bit. There is an air gap, but it's tight. So in my opinion, I'd feel better if you clearanced it a little bit. That was on the car. I don't have one here to actually fit that, but the turbo and the manifold all bolted right on. And that was, I don't know, I probably had about maybe a little less than a 1/4 inch gap underneath that I could kind of feel with my finger. But real happy with this based on the amount of information I had. Up here with this hot side, which is a 115 twin scroll, which is probably one of the bigger housings. There are going to be some bigger T4 housings that you guys are going to encounter, but even with these variable valve timing solenoids sticking out, I could still go like this with my fingers between them. Now obviously that's closer than we'd want them to be, but at least we have a gap, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm almost going to have to recommend a turbo blanket for these though. It's really tight. A turbo blanket's going to solve all your problems, in my opinion there. And there's a ton of good ones out there for relatively cheap. I do have some good news. In addition to everything fitting, I'm gonna go ahead and get the wastegates fitted, and it's gonna be headed down to Bruce here probably within the next week and a half. And he's gonna start the process of getting it put in the actual car. But I spoke to my friends at Granis Racing, and